Good morning, YouTubers. Nice day here in Southern Ohio. Gonna be 44 today. That's pretty good for January. We're on the F150. You can see I've been working on the steering column. The brake lines. All I did was, I wasn't gonna put new brake lines on this, but upon inspection, these brake lines have been changed. So all I did was flare them and connect them to the Crown Vic brake lines. And same thing here, took the end off the Crown Vic line and cut this line here and put a flare on it. I've got a Matco double flare bubble deal. Anyway, I'm not crazy about these bends, but it's about as good as I'm going to be able to get it. Now, they're pumped up and bled and no leaks, so we got that. The column, if you've seen the previous videos, this column had a bunch of slop in it. I mean, I could shake it just up and down probably better than an inch. What I did, this is not a cheap way to fix it, but I went to Tractor Supply and got a bearing. It's a double sealed 3/4 inch bearing, and it fits up in this I don't know, this cavity is tapered. It fits in there somewhat. And then I got a couple of shims, like a, what they call them, machinery bushing. It's just basically a washer. That right there, I got a package of them. And then 2 shaft collars. And as you can see now, the bearing, the thing moves free as it can be. Now, to keep this from, it's got about 1/8 inch of play in it. To keep that from ever coming apart, the bearing dropping out, we're going to tack these on the column and then put the smaller one, which will go here, and build a bearing retainer and just tack that stuff together if you ever need to change that bearing, which I promise you, unless something really silly happens, that bearing will outlast this truck. But you can see it still turns free with this on here. And then we'll work on connecting the steering column. Now, one of the most ingenious things I've seen on this Ford front clip so far is how Ford did their, you know, from here to here, there has to be a way for that column to telescope. I went over this before in other videos. The old truck had a rubber rag joint here that allowed the cab to move slightly. And what Ford did on these Crown Vics is they made this double U-joint thing here. So literally it can go probably close to 2 inches back and forth and never have any play in the steering. They also have this double D shaft that you can cut and put a female double D over it, you know, and have a telescoping shaft. But that's where we're at right now. We're gonna get this done, then we'll figure out the shaft. Waiting on a few parts like these cab mounts and stuff to really get finished, but we got plenty to do. I'm not really waiting on anything, so to speak, but I'd like to get those done before we go too much further. Anyhow, pretty day. I thought I'd take advantage of it. I got a little time today, so that's what we're going to work on. So any questions or suggestions, throw them my way. I used the double collar here just for safety. One would probably do, or you could have tack welded it, but I just did the double. 2 of them Allen head screws. You couldn't pull that steering column out of there. I don't care who you are. You'd end up destroying it before you pulled that through them 2 set screws. Anyway, so that's where we're at, and we'll go from there. Clean this up, start tack welding that, and I think I just cut my finger. Damn thing. Anyway, where that old column has been rubbing up against there, that's just as sharp as a razor blade. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll get this chunk of metal out of my finger and get back to work.